Lady Latanya, he's on my heart all day. Keish, Dawson, hello, hello, hello. All right, Biggs, you back with us? Good evening. So glad you all are back here with us tonight. A. Roman, hello. Corendus, yes, my sister. She's got the best seat in the house. Vanessa. All right, Facebook. Gertrude, hello. Our first hello on Facebook. Brittany, hello. Hello, Perry, T. Daly. Hi, Celine. Audria, Misha on Facebook. Come on in. So far, Periscope is still ahead of Facebook. Let's go. Let's do it. Tag someone, inbox them, let them know that we're on. Good evening, Davion. How are you? I'm here too. I missed who that was. Hi, Leah. See if I can see you on here. Lulu. Gwen Molden. Oh, okay. Natasha, good evening. Hey, there's my baby. Brittany, hello. I see y'all coming on. That's right. Good evening, delegates. That's what we call ourselves. Hello, delegates. Frederica, my prodigal. Don't know where she's been. Good evening. Tonight is your wake-up call. That's what we're calling tonight, the wake-up call. All right, Renee. Hello. This is the wake-up call. Crystal, Jackie, Okita, Jerry. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Running neck and neck now, 22 to 22. The wake-up call. Yep, that's what I'm calling tonight, the wake-up call. Yvonne Bowen, 26 to 26. Man, y'all tying on Periscope and Facebook. How's it going? Fabian, my brother, my son, my co-laborer, I love you and your beautiful family. Godspeed. Happy New Year. I'm glad you're still holding love for me. Tasha Ross, hello. The wake-up call. That's what we're going to call this one, the wake-up call. Because I got some good notes here. I think I have some giveaways. I'm just trying to decide. Thanks, Glory888, for my first super heart tonight. The wake-up call. Elder Manny. Diane Collins, hello. Awesome. Oh, thank you so much, my son Fabian. I love y'all. Truly, I truly, truly love y'all. Special place in my heart. Beautiful family. So, we're back on night 2 of our 30-day journey. Y'all praying for me, I hope. Y'all praying, y'all praying, y'all praying. All right, Facebook is taking off now. They're beating Periscope by 5, so that's cool. You want to get it up there again. Want to get started. Tonight is the wake-up call. Ebony Edwards, hello. One of our delegates is down, y'all. She inboxed me today. The doctor diagnosed her with the flu. So we want to pray. I think her handle on Facebook is D. Davis. We want to pray for D. Davis. She has the flu. Yucky, yucky. Absolutely. Good. Make sure you pray for me. All right, we got some good, exciting things tonight. We've got some deep things tonight. We're going to do well. Thank you. Make sure you pray. Pray for the soul doctor, because the enemy would love to sift me as wheat. We know it's not possible, but he still can cause some chaos, confusion, and discomfort. And I've got a job to do. Souls to set free, healing to bring forth. So we don't have time for that. Oh, look at my baby. I got to get a nickname for you. Beautiful. Glad you're on tonight. Thank you so very much. Oh, Dahlia, she's coming on too. Roxy, hello. They're all wishing Dee to feel better. Absolutely. Devon, what's going on? Destiny, hello. A charge to keep. That's right, T. All right. I think we're floating up here good enough. Let us talk tonight. It's your wake-up call. What we're doing in these 30 days is your wake-up call. What's the purpose of a wake-up call? So that we don't oversleep, right? So I don't want y'all to oversleep. Thank you. I see Brenda Berry's on our website right now. Thank God. If I just have one little, I don't know what to really call it. I'm not a techie person as I'd like to be. Thanks, Maria, for my second super heart tonight. Leona, you can't hear? Can everyone else hear on Facebook? Yeah, they're commenting. Check your volume, Leona. Everyone else is talking back to me here on Facebook. I'll check it just to be sure who I am. But everybody said they can hear me. Yep, healing for the body for Pastor D. Good, good, good. All right, so it's a wake-up call tonight, and it's a wake-up call because I don't want you sleeping through your life. That's right. Come on, Perry. I don't want you sleeping through your life. So it's a wake-up call. I want to do a quick recap. This is, D. Davis is on. Bless you with healing. Yeah, thanks, Fabian. Everyone can hear me. I want to go over last night a little bit. That's it. No sleeping. We need to get a t-shirt for that one. No sleeping. I want to go over a few things from last night. This is what we do every night. We don't spend a whole time rehearsing because they have replay. But I do want to, I want to go over a couple things just to make sure that our journals and our notes are being kept. Good. Roxy said we're loud and clear. So one of the words that I want to go over for last night is fix. Remember the fix? We're real deep. F-I-X. The fix. Man, one of my favorite people are on live right now. How dare they go on when I'm on? Thank God for replay. Anyway, the word is the fix. What is the fix? It's how you do what you do. It's how you do it. And reading the material that we're going over in this month, we learn that it's okay that you do some of the things you used to do. It's just that now you do them differently. For an example, you do them now because you desire to do them and not because someone else desires to do them. You do them now because you learned yourself to appreciate them and you're not doing them because you are manipulated into doing them. There's a difference. It's become your priority now instead of someone else's priority. Fixing yourself is finding your true self from the inside out. You know, that's the part that makes you throw up, makes you vomit. From the inside out is what fixing is all about. That's the fix. It's being there for yourself. Being there for yourself. How many things just today have you taken care of out of obligation, responsibility, and love for someone else, or just meeting needs of someone else who needed some things done by you today? But what have you done for yourself today? How were you there for yourself? Were you honest with your boundaries? Were you honest with the things that you could and could not do? You're going to find out that if you don't handle those things early on, people get used to, if I can just bluntly say it, taking advantage of you, or you always being available. You're never thought of as being busy, or you're the one that's never tired. They can always depend on you to get things done, sometimes to a fault, to a point where they just don't want to do it. They're just lazy and they just know that you'll do it for them. Were you following your boundaries set today? Do you have boundaries set today? Safe boundaries. That's right. So the fix is being there for you. And listen, it's being your own best friend. Being your own best friend. I read something probably about it, maybe in 2017, and it was sort of a poem, and it almost sounded like the person in the poem was writing to God. Then it sounded like maybe they were writing to a lover, and then towards the middle of it, it sounded like they were writing to a very good friend of theirs, only to find out at the end they were referring to themselves, that they finally met the best person for them, which was themselves. The best person that they have met. Finally, after God and all the people and all the things in between, they finally became friends with themselves. And this isn't a female thing. This is a human thing. We've been taught to be there for people, to help people. Some of us have these great big hearts. So wonderful. We need you in this earth to keep it going around. But the majority of the problem is you're no good to us. You're no good to anyone else if you don't have what we want or need you to have for yourself on the inside. You've got to put yourself at the top of your priority list. And that's why every year people come up with resolutions. And the resolutions usually, I'm going to finish a book, or I'm going to read a book, or I'm going to lose some weight, or I'm going to start eating healthy, or I'm going to diet, or I'm going to fast. I'm going to start following a faith. I'm going to be dedicated to my church. I'm going to step up and start doing some work in a local church. I'm going to start my ministry. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to start my entrepreneurship. We start these resolutions, but the thing that happens with resolutions is you let other resolves cover your resolutions. Every time I've spoken with anyone who set goals or had resolutions, the majority of the time they were dropped were because of other people's needs moving their way up the priority list over your own priorities. I help people, I do, but I've learned that there's some things that I have to do. There's some things that I'm mandated in the earth to do. Remember, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. There's some things that he needs for me to do before I return to him. So, telling someone not now or no or wait isn't always a bad thing. And we found out, I believe it was, maybe it was 2017, So Detox, that no is an answer. No is a sentence. No is a paragraph. No is one word that is an answer. And sometimes we have to learn how to say no without the guilt, because maybe the person you're dealing with is a manipulator. I've learned a lot of people that I talk to, their parents are actually manipulators. And I'm talking about parents who are maybe 60 and 70. Their children are 50 and 40s, 30s. They're manipulated by parents when they say no. They have their own families now. They're afraid to say no. And they'll sacrifice trouble in their home. We leave our mother and our father and we cleave. They will sacrifice troubles in their cleaving, the house that they are responsible for, because of the manipulation and guilt they carry from their parents. Not cool. It's called boundaries. Yes, I can help you, but I have 3 other priorities that I have to get done today or this week. When do you need this done by? If you need it done today, you're going to have to call someone else. If you need it done tomorrow, perhaps I can take it off. Do I have the rest of the week to get done? How urgent is this that you need? Because you cannot keep sacrificing yourself while meeting the needs of others. I know people who have resolutions to write books, but yet they've helped so many other people write books and theirs isn't written yet. They've helped develop other ministries, and they've helped to, just do a whole lot of things at the sacrifice of their own. Now, there's one thing with being caring and nurturing. There's one thing with being generous, but we have to be very careful when it comes to selflessness that causes a disruption or a dysfunction in your own home. So part of the fix is getting priorities, being there for yourself, and being your own best friend. Let me see what else I want to talk to you about before we get into tonight's lesson. I can't tell you what page to look on, but we're still in chapter 1. You'll be able to tell by the teaching where I am. But there's something that I want to read to you. It's about the fix. Let's see. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's see. The fix. The fix. I have a question for you. Let's get it. I got some good testimonies to read, so I don't want to jump ahead on us. The fix. All right, I have a question for you. Is it possible that, just like me, you have a great chance for a tremendously more satisfying and exciting life, but you are selling yourself short and missing out because you don't know it? Or if you do know it, you are just stuck in your life and aren't doing anything about it? Is it possible that you are, in fact, an excitingly unique individual with the need to do and be all of who you are, yet you are denying that powerful individuality and remain bogged down and buried in a world of responsibility traps and don't make waves conformity lifestyle? Who am I talking to tonight? Who am I talking to tonight? Isn't that interesting? Greetings, everyone who's coming on. I see you. Is that a possibility? Somebody says, yes, it's possible. Another mic drop. All right, Karen, go ahead. You're in your home. You can drop the mic. You can drop to your knees. You can drop in the floor. I do a whole lot of things after I hang up on Soul Detox because it's just so, it brings up so much conversation and so much to talk about, things that we really ignore, especially for ministers or leaders or busy parents, busy dads. You know, you're not living your best life if you're living the life that everyone else expects you to live. There has to be something in it for you. And if you are also a follower of Jesus Christ, when it is something in it for you, then it is something in it for God. Because he knows the purposes and the plans for your life. So if you're not living your authentic self, if you're not living the fixed life, how is he getting the glory out of all your servanthood to everyone else? But what he's packaged you up and sent you to the earth to do is not getting done. Okay, now we did the fix. Let me remind you of 3 other words, and then we'll read a couple testimonies and we'll start our lesson for tonight. Another word that we talked about was self-acceptance. Self-acceptance. Accepting yourself, your faults, your insecurities, and your fears. Why? So that we can move forward from that place of self-acceptance. If you have not accepted yourself the way you are, if you have that attitude of continually faking it till you make it, there's no starting point in which for us to build from and for us to start from, because I have to work backwards with you to give you proof, evidence, and facts of things that need to be confronted in your life. Pastor Paula White wrote a book a while ago. You cannot confront what you don't, what was the name of this book? Confess. I think it's you cannot confront what you don't confess. So if a lot of us are in denial and we don't realize it. And denial is a real thing. It is medically a real thing. There's some things, I have known people who medically has caused their bellies to grow as if they were expecting because they wanted a baby so badly. And their body, their belly literally begin to grow. Denial is a strong psychosis. It's a medical form. It's not something we make, oh, she's in denial, No, this I'm talking about deep denial. That when when we do our coaching or our advising online, all the sessions are recorded. And at the end of a 24-hour period, I send the recording over to my client and I ask them to listen to it again and to take journal notes while they listen to it. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know about yourself. So most people, when they go back and they listen to themselves, they learn a lot about themselves that they were not aware of. They heard lies. They heard embellishment. They heard fabricating of the facts. They heard manipulation. And they've been honest to tell me this. Some of them said, I sound like such a whiner. How do you even deal with me every week? Some of them say, oh, I just sound so arrogant. I make myself sick. So you go back and you listen to yourself so you can accept who you really been reflecting, who it is that you have introduced to us that may not be your authentic self. How does that happen? Do you remember last night? We talked about labels. Labels will do it to you. Black sheep. You think you're too good. You're going to be like your no good father. You're going to be like your no good mother. These labels come. And even though, let me remind y'all, even though you're a whole, complete fabric knit together in your mother's womb through words and traumas and actions and accidents and experiences, there's threads that get woven in who you are that alters who it is you are really supposed to be. That's the authentic self. So there's a self-acceptance we need to get back to. And you need to go back. I've had a problem with this person for so many years, but through the recordings, I've been able to learn that I really fabricate things. When I get hurt, I tend to act as if no one else has anything else to say, or I tend to I go into self-defense mode and I begin to project and I begin to release anger because when I get hurt, it reminds me of something when I was younger. So right away I go into defense mode, and all I do is I manipulate and I just tell you about who your wrongs are, and then I begin to cut you off. And that's what we do. Isn't that something? And that happens because we're not healed. And yesterday when I was talking to a young man on the phone, I kind of told you about it. I hope you could still hear me. Someone said they were getting an echo, so I moved my speaker out of the way. Can you still hear me, Facebook? You know, you don't know who you are most times until you talk to yourself, until you talk to someone else about it. Is the echo gone yet? Thank you, Renee. Come on, y'all ain't answering me fast enough. I blow things out of proportion. That is literally what I'm saying. Exactly. Thank you, Integrity Force on Periscope. We thank you. We tend to blow things out of proportion. Why? Because that one argument isn't really what you're dealing with. What you're dealing with is arguments that have happened before. And from those arguments that happened before, you are now arguing your case for something that's been going on for a long time and not the particular situation at hand. There's many times people will have arguments, and even when I was counseling them, and they'll get the recording when they leave, or sometimes we'll have to rewind it right there in the session so that they could hear. He did not say that. That is your rejection that heard that. That is your rejection that is feeling with it. Thank you, Okita. She sent it to me. It's called, the book that I referenced for Paula White is called Deal with It. You cannot conquer what you will not confront. And that has a lot to do with self-acceptance. If you don't know who you are, then who does? And that's why prayer partners, accountability partners, you know, getting counseling in your church, hiring a coach, whatever you can have, is important for your life, because you need to grow. You're 57, but you in your life you're still 17. So we've got to work on self-acceptance. There was another word that we put out on the table last night. The third word of the four that I want to reminisce on for a minute is your authentic self. Getting back to a time when you really were comfortable with being you. And believe it or not, some people said it hasn't been since they were about 8 years old. 8 years old, they were not able to be themselves. Because right about that age, mom came with the stigmas, the name calling came up, abandonment came up, trauma happened in their life, and they had to take on other identities. I mean, it's so deep how the psyche works. So self-acceptance and being your authentic self, I know a lot of y'all last night answered and said, at 23, at 47, at 50, but I bet you, when we break this thing down even more, you're going to find out you really haven't really been authentic since you was a little girl or a little boy and someone had actually stolen your identity from you. Because too many things come up in life that interfere with us, that causes us to be another person. I love the scripture in the Bible that talks about when the anointing comes upon us, we become another man. We're bolder, we're stronger. Maybe our intelligence is amped up, but the anointing changes us. But so does trauma, so does culture. So we really want to work hard to be an authentic. If you are a liar or a cheater or a thief, you need to find someone that you can be honest with and admit that. Because once you can admit that, you have now walked in self-acceptance, and now we can begin to find underneath the sand or the dirt your authentic self and actually begin to build something solid in your life. But let's be honest, who can we really talk to and admit, I'm a serial fornicator, I'm a serial adulterer, I'm a serial liar, I'm a serial, manipulator, consistent, on and on, sequential throughout different relationships. Who can we admit that to? So you may think you're authentic, but you are as sick as your secret. So if you cannot admit your secrets to anyone, there's no self-acceptance. Then there's no accountability. And if I'm pretty certain, if there's no accountability in your life, there is no self-acceptance in your life, there's no trust in your life either, because they go hand in hand. Amen. You need to breathe a minute. How we doing? Hello, Deborah Holloman, Rochelle Graham. They're saying deep. Release your past to embrace your present. Brenda Berry. Cheryl, I think I'm still waiting to meet my authentic self. Absolutely. Those are honest statements. And I believe that there is a unveiling every time we go through something good or not so good in our life. You know, when I finish reading a book like this, there's another level of unveiling. Just last night sharing with y'all about my older siblings teasing me when I was a little girl, telling me I was adopted and found in a trash can. I didn't realize that was even in there anymore. Is that amazing? I completely forgot about it until I spoke about it last night. And I only spoke about it last night because Biggs here on my Periscope mentioned something that triggered a memory in me, and it came right up out of my soul as if it was right at the front of my consciousness. And it wasn't at the front of my consciousness. It was buried very deeply in my self-conscious. I had no idea it was there until I began to talk about it last night. Woo, woo. So what else is there? What else have you forgotten in your conscience? But deep, deep filed away, it's still there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Peers are mean. Siblings are mean. Kids are horrible. They're rude. We respect their honesty, but they can be really rude. So fix, self-acceptance, authentic self, and the last word was nostalgic. Thank you, Biggs. How about those people who live in the past? Remember that? The nostalgic person, the nostalgia. We talked about someone who is highly nostalgic and is stuck in the past. That was their better days. The only reason you would want to continue focusing on some fantasized past is if the present you are responsible for creating is not good enough. That's a nostalgic person, nostalgia. It's so good to reference those days. I know things were better then. You know, the commercial that talks about, I think, is it State Farm? That people are just like their parents. You know, they're looking over their bills. They're wearing glasses. They're wearing the old big father jeans, khakis, and all that. And I have to laugh because I even see that in myself this day at times when I say, oh my God, I'm acting like my parents. You know, the music they listen to today. That's crazy stuff, how they talk to each other and talk about each other. You know, they make music to attack the last person's song or their character or something that had happened at a party. When the music we made, we had to help nobody and get pregnant. It was all about love and love making and the better lover and the best lover. And so, you know, I can be nostalgic when I talk about music. I love music. I can be nostalgic when I take out old pictures or videos from the past. But thank God I'm not one who is stuck in the past. And we all know someone or have seen someone or have met someone who lives in the past. And usually they'll dress like it. They'll talk like it. I've met some people who literally, I don't even know where they find the garments from, are from the past. And just those things alone doesn't make them stuck. But usually when the conversation starts and you start listening to them, you'll say all the external things match the internal things. This person is very much stuck in a time when things were great for them. Why? Why are they stuck? Because the present that they are responsible for creating for themselves is not what they want. They are not happy. They are not just stuck in a time or a good memory. They literally have stopped growing in their life. Yes, friends can be nostalgic. Absolutely. And they don't have to be old people or parents. Absolutely. Everything about them. The giveaway for them is not so much the outer man of the things that I named. The giveaway is their conversation. They're always referencing, man, remember we used to go to that club? Every time you see them, they reference that same story over and over again. You're sitting there like, yeah, those were great times, but let me tell you what I'm doing now. I'm writing a book. I got a 30-day broadcast that I'm doing. It brought so much healing and deliverance and edification and comfort to my life that, you know, God has opened up a broadcast for me where I'm able to share it with 100 and so people live every night, and I do it every 30 days, and and then I tell you that I'm writing my book, and after the book is out in about a year, I plan on doing this or going here or doing this, future, forward march, future. These people are like, they're looking at you like, I still got a horse I just tied up in your driveway to walk in the house. I'm being funny, but you get what I'm saying? Their conversation is, oh, how about this? They're 50 something years old and they still go by their nickname. And they love that nickname. It was a time of their life when they were hot, when they were the player, when they were needed, when they were necessary, when they were known and recognized for something. And now in their life, they have created nothing to compare to what they had back then. So they stay in the past. They stay in nostalgia. They stay nostalgic. Because what they were or what they should have or what they have created now in the present is not good enough for them. So they tag out, they cop out, and they resort to the past. And they're constantly reminding you of the past and bringing up names of people. You don't remember when you dated Petey? I don't even remember him dating a Petey. Oh, I remember Petey. Petey had the red car. And you're sitting there like, and they're just constantly stuck in the past. Those are words I want you to remember. Because remember, let me read the statement to you. Oh, that's some good stuff. We got to move on. The only reason anyone would want to continue focusing on some fantasized past is if the present they have created is not good. What's some of the key words you hear? What you have created. You got the power, baby. You have the power. You have the power so much so that the people in your life that you think have the power and the control are not doing anything with your life. They're doing things with their lives. They know they have power and control over their life, but they're able to use you, manipulate you, or just got comfortable with your resources and your tendency to be codependent or passive and help them out. So you're stuck in the past because you don't even have the time to deal with the future. And you may be so embarrassed by your age or your failures that you totally begin to live in denial so that you don't have to go back and deal with what you have not dealt with in the last 10 or 20 years of your life. Y'all with me? All right. Somebody said, that's good, Apostle. Yeah, music is very good. Music can make you nostalgic and not in a detrimental state. I could play some songs and it would remind me what was going on back then. I'd be like, man, some will bring tears to my eyes of friends that died, that didn't make it. And, some songs remind me of, my parents. And, they'll make you smile or they can make you cry. There's nothing wrong with being nostalgic. Thank you. Somebody said with you. That's bigs. But when you're stuck in a past season and your mind and your conversation is stuck, that's different than putting on some good old music and sliding across the floor in your kitchen. That's completely different. Music definitely does it to me too. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do a litmus test. A litmus test. And I forget what page that is on, but if y'all have the book, you'll get it. A litmus test. What is a litmus? A litmus is a test in which a single factor, such as an attitude, event, or fact, is used in decision making. Litmus, Litmus, litmus test. And let me break it down a little further. Any single factor that establishes the true character of something. Any true factor that establishes the true character of something. That's a litmus test. I'll read it, the first definition again. It's a test in which a single factor, such as an attitude, event, or fact, is used in the decision-making process. Litmus test logic is for determining whether you are passively accepting or even choosing behaviors that ignore who you really are, or have been choosing behaviors and life circumstances that naturally flow from your true, authentic self. So here's the test. Are you ready? Yes, that's right, Cheryl. Nostalgic moments are fine. Absolutely. She said, hi, Deacon Bernard. He got on, huh? That's the litmus. It's a test in which a single factor, such as an attitude, event, or fact, is used in the decision-making process. any single factor that establishes the true character or something. Here is your test. Litmus lozenges. I read to my students a story with the word beautiful. Oh, lozenges. Very good. All right, so here's the test. Are you ready? The test is, let me tell you how many questions you have to answer. Okay, not too bad here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 questions. Number 1, are you constantly tired? Now, if I was doing a live soul detox, I hope one of my scribes are on here tonight, that they'll take a note for me. On my live soul detox, I will have the examine table at the conference, at our convention, and I'd actually have what's that little rubber hammer the doctors have when they're giving you a physical, and they'll hit your knee. And I'll say, I'm doing your physical on your soul today, and I'll tap your knee and see if it bounces back. Are you constantly tired? Your other knee. Are you stressed most of the times? Second time. Are you emotionally flat? Even mild depression. Tap the other one. Now I can look in your ears. Are you constantly worrying? And I'll check your eyes. Are you unhappy? That is the litmus test. Do you pass it or do you fail it? This is the test to determine a factor in your life. And the factor is, are you living your authentic self? Because if you are not, if you said yes, remember, to any single factor, if you said yes to any single factor, the test will reveal to you that these things are so because you are not living your authentic self. You're not. And I know you're not going to believe me right now, but by the end of tonight, we have a few minutes, we're doing good, or by tomorrow night, you're going to apologize and realize these things, even just one, does mean that I have started living a life of self-betrayal. We're going to talk about that before we leave tonight too. Reflex hammer. Thank you. Yvonne, remind me when we have our our live soul detox. I believe the date is going to be March 2nd. We're trying to get back in Goodwin College again on March 2nd. I hope you are able to be there. And I'm going to call someone up and I'm going to do a physical on them. But though it will look like a physical exam, what I'm really doing is checking your soul to find out, are you living your authentic self? Are you constantly tired, stressed, emotionally flat, even mildly depressed? Are you worried most of the times? Are you unhappy most of the times? I see one person says yes. I think someone else put their finger down, so that means no. I see yes. Someone says unhappy. And thank you for being honest. That's why I like these settings. There's no embarrassment. You're comfortable in your own home, in your PJs, chilling, whatever you want to do. And you can answer these things in the comfort of your own home. And you don't have to feel I'm in the church. I can't tell a lie. I can't be honest either because the truth is probably worse than a lie because I'm embarrassed of my truth. No, you've got to be truthful. Remember, we can't work with you in denial. We need you to be have a true self-concept of who you are so we can help you get back to your authentic self. Emotional flat. Yes, emotional flat. My. They're saying yes. Periscope, maybe they all fell out on the floor and laid out getting delivered because I'm just getting the most prettiest color hearts right now, but absolutely no comments. Unhappy. Yes to about half. Yes, they're raising their hands. Yes to about half. Truth is, I'm not living my authentic self. Well, welcome. And that's why these 30 days are about you. I checked yes for all of them. Yes, sometimes. Tired. Believe it. Listen, what we're going to hit tonight, you're going to agree that this is why these things are going on. Listen, the problem is you are ignoring you. And psychologically and medically, there are affects to you ignoring your authentic self. Believe me, this isn't some bogus where I want to sell you a weight loss plan. This isn't some bogus teaching because I really want to indoctrinate you into my coaching. I definitely would love for you to join my coaching or advising, but I'm spending 30 days on you, investing in you, because if I can at least get you to wake up, if I can at least cause a part of your brain to fire again, to start paying attention to your boundaries? Do you actually have boundaries in your life? Are you living your best life now? Are the majority of your days spent constantly tired, stressed, emotionally flat, even mildly depressed, worried, or unhappy? I want to help you with that. If I can at least get 28 more days with you, I believe we can really make some effect here. Because the problem is you are ignoring you, your authentic you. You are going through the motions, but you are in betrayal. Come on, say it with me. Self-betrayal. You are ignoring you. Mm-hmm. Yep. Good, 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 good comments. Come on. You are ignoring you. And that's why at the last Soul Detox, this is what we had going on. Do not enter because I am under construction. Caution, do not enter because I am under construction. What are you under construction for? Because I have been betraying someone. One of the most important people still alive on this earth. One of the most important people that it takes for me to live with. And I have to be happy with them. Not him, not her, not them. You. You are in self-betrayal. Let me tell you what this is. Self-betrayal. If you are doing things you profess to hate, yet continue to do them anyway, that is self-betrayal. Come on, Facebook. Y'all doing it tonight. They have it written up there. Self-betrayal. That's right, Delia. Come on, Caretha Thomas. Rochelle, Okita. Come on, I'm seeing you. Self-betrayal. If you are doing things you profess to hate, you literally say it out of your mouth. I hate having to do this. You continue to do them anyway. That is self-betrayal. Now look, let me put a little addendum here, a little star. I'm not talking about adult responsibilities like paying bills that we all hate to do. Because I want to let you know this. There's been times when I've had to abase, when I didn't have enough money to pay the bills, and I hated having to pay bills. And then there were times when I was abounding, where I had the money. I actually loved paying bills. And it felt so good that with an expectancy, I couldn't wait till next month came because then I knew I was going to pay that bill completely off. So what you're doing continually that you hate is not attacking the debt. So it's not bills that you really have a problem paying. It's the income that you're bringing in. And what if the income you're bringing in is because you're in a job somebody else offered you, somebody else gave you, fear convinced you couldn't get anything any better. It's something that your parents had already aligned for you. You're doing it because your credit report or your police report won't let you get in any other place. Listen, I've seen miracles, I've seen signs, and I've seen wonders. And I've never seen the righteous forsaken. Don't settle. When you settle, it causes you to be constantly tired, stressed, emotionally flat, even mildly depressed, worried, and unhappy. You are in self-betrayal. How many people are you upset with this day because they betrayed you? Thank you, Monique, CW, Rhonda. How many people? I bet you could run it down. Well, my sister did this to me. This last guy I was in a relationship with, he betrayed me. My pastor did this to me. My sister in the church did this to me. You got a list of the people who betrayed you. But did you put your name on it? Did you see if your name was on your list? Because your name should be at the top. Because the arms of flesh will always fail you. We can expect betrayal from people, but we should not expect betrayal from ourselves. Can somebody drop the mic? Did I just say something right there? Did I just say a word right there? Tell me, because if I didn't, I didn't. But if I just said a word right there, you've got to tell me, drop the mic. I just said a word right there. The arms of flesh will always fail you. A great prophet, teacher, philanthropist, a great, I'm trying to think of the other word, the son of the living God. The arms of flesh will always fail you. You should expect them to fail you. But did you expect to fail yourself? Self-betrayal. You should be at the top of that list. And really, I would write the others off the rest of that list. Let it go. But you need to stop betraying yourself. with your relationships, with your conversations, with you biting your tongue. You bite your tongue because you come out, I don't want to hurt anybody. We call that the Incredible Hulk syndrome. What is that? Passive aggressiveness. If you were honest from the rip, you wouldn't have to rip anybody to get it out. The reason why anger is the time you handle things, and anger is the time you defend yourself, or anger is the time that you say, I'm not taking this anymore, because you passively sit by and let people do what they want to you because you're in self-betrayal. You have let yourself down the most. Come on. Yep, somebody yelling, Lord help. Another person saying, powerful session. Reality check. Put yourself, our children let us down. Our spouses let us down. Our churches let us down. Sometimes we feel like God lets us down. Our jobs let us down. Friends let us down. But you need to begin to survey your life to find out where have you let you down at, and let's get back up. I like when the two apostles were walking by, and they were walking by, I believe it was the gate called Beautiful, and there was a man there who was crippled for most of his life. I hope I'm not mixing up the stories. I'm so conscious of time. And the apostles reached out in their hands to get him. He was begging for money. And they told him, silver and gold have I not, but what I have I give unto thee. Take my hand, get up and walk. This is what I want to do with you tonight. You who have not been living your authentic self. You who maybe said last night that you've been authentic for the last 10 or 20 years. And now you found out you've got to erase that comment because of all the betrayal, of all the ex-boyfriends, of all the ex-girlfriends. The biggest betrayer in the room with you is in the mirror. And that's why last year on Soul Detox, we said, be careful when you go to look in the mirror, because the enemy that you've really been mad at may be looking back at you. Self-betrayal is real. I have let myself down the most. Time to survey my life. So needed this tonight for sure. Why am I allowing for them to let me down? Self-betrayal. It's all right to cry, sweetie. That's why we're here. These 30 days, I usually end up crying right on the camera in these 30 days. Because remember, there's things that's inside of us that our soul has buried so deeply we're not aware of. So through group conversations like this, they come out. I found a nice retreat house in Massachusetts. I think it has like 20 beds. And I want to take a group like this, and I want to go up there in person. And we sit down and we have workshop time. And just like we're sitting here now, if we can display that same honesty, and I think with the energy that would be in that room, I believe deliverance and healing will come out of that place, that just in a weekend, we can come out so much mightier and stronger, more authentic, more fixed, with a better self-concept of who we are. Self-betrayal. Not the adult responsibilities. All right, let me get back to the book now. We get to read something from the book. Let me go up here. On the ebook, it's page 16. I don't know what page it is in your book in person. And here it is. How do you know if you're in self-betrayal? For example, you are always complaining about being overweight, yet you continue to be. Do you fail to exercise? That one hit me today. Because every day it's like, oh, look at my stomach. Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I don't want to do that. My husband bought me some nice shirts for Christmas, and I put one on. I was like, oh, God, muffin top. Threw the shirt to the side, put on a bigger shirt. Being overweight, yet you continue to be. But I ain't going to tell y'all what I had for lunch today. And I think it was a passive-aggressive moment because I was so heated how that shirt looked on me that I think I just went down to the local Popeyes and Friendlies and just got over myself. It's not better than alcohol, but it's better than alcohol. Do you fail to exercise? Go back to school. Change jobs. Confront your dead marriage. Get a date. Get a hobby. Or deal with the pain of abuse or neglect that has scarred you even since childhood. You are in self-betrayal if any of these things are going on in your life. But yet you pick up the phone and encourage everyone else. You pick up the phone and run around for everyone else, but you're complaining about your weight, but you continue to be overweight. And you will fail to exercise. You won't even go back to school, but you're on the phone with people who can't talk to you right now because they're doing homework. Come on. We've got to wake up from this thing. Self-betrayal. Are y'all talking to me tonight? Another bad sign. When your life is dominated by constant anxiety and worry, and you don't do a thing to change it. I talk to people. Soul Detox started in January 2nd, 2017. Remember that because I've got some giveaways. And I have a few people that I counsel or advise, coach since, let me see, I think March 2017 is when I actually started taking appointments. And some of them are still being dominated by abuses and mistreatments and no boundaries in their life, and they're doing nothing about it. Well, let me not say that. They'll do one thing about it. Y'all want to guess what the one thing is they do about it? Besides let it happen. Guess what's the one thing they'll X out of their life? Not the abuser, not the things that cause constant worry or anxiety or dominated by fears. They'll cancel out their coach. Isn't that something? It's like you hire a coach, but you go eat a hot fudge sundae so you don't go to the gym the rest of that week because you're embarrassed. No, you go to the gym the rest of that week because you are embarrassed. You don't avoid your coach because you're living in the same rut. You know, you parked your car in mud and now you're spinning and all you're spinning is mud. If it's going to take you 2 years to get out of this, 3 years to get out of this, it's going to take 2 or 3 years to get out of it. But you don't avoid the prescription and continue in the sickness. You're in self-betrayal. And that's bigger than the betrayal you're doing to me, to your kids, to your spouse, to yourself. That's the biggest betrayal you could ever do. That's a blasphemy. Come on. Is your mind dull? You aren't as sharp. You aren't getting old. It's your authentic self getting buried. Do you want to know that? I've known a lot of women who are a few years older than me, and they used to be like, man, my brain's not as sharp as they used to be. But they were always saying how bored they were in their life and always, expecting some man to show up, make their life feel better, expecting some man to show up and marry them. And, maybe they'll be like, let it go, let it go. They, the fantasy life. You have no purpose, but you think you want to marry a man that may have purpose and you may drain him. You have no purpose, no identity. You're not even authentic, but your vision for your life is getting a man. I meet so many women like that. It just baffles me. Take the time to work on you. Let 1 and 1 be 2, not 0 and 1 be 1. They complain about their memory. They complain that they're getting old. They complain that they're too old to take a class. They can't remember and study like they used to do. No. As much as you'd like to blame it on your age, it's not even your age. It's because your authentic self is getting buried. Take your medicine, somebody said. Mic drop again. Go ahead, Karen. It's a bad sign. In dullness of your mind, your concentration and your memory is because you are burying yourself. That your thoughts aren't even important to you anymore. Come on. Wake up, my brother. Wake up, my sister. You matter. You matter. I need you to stop betraying you. You bring to surface what is known, but we don't want to acknowledge. Recognize me like I recognize everybody else. That's beautiful. Someone said, I wonder if this has something to do with Alzheimer's. Well, when you're going to hear a little medical statistics, you may believe that. Listen now, self-betrayal. We're going to move on now to self-abandonment. Self-abandonment. It's when emotions are marked by cynicism, apathy, hopelessness, and a lack of optimism. You have abandoned yourself. Self-betrayal, self-abandonment. I counsel a lot of people from abandonment issues, a lot of people from hurt, from betrayals, divorce and such things as that. Somebody stole their idea and all those things. And we just, give them some tools on how to refocus and redirect and get up out of that slump. But now we're talking about self-abandonment. It's when emotions are marked by cynicism, apathy, hopelessness, and a lack of optimism. That's a sign that you have abandoned yourself. And you know what that leads to when you abandon yourself? It shows up. I'm going to repeat it again for my my Periscope viewer. It's when your emotions are marked by cynicism, apathy, hopelessness, and a lack of optimism. It means you have abandoned yourself. And what happens from there is you create this fictional personality. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. It's called fictional infection. Come on, somebody post that. So when y'all go back to look at it, you'll be able to remember these words that popped up. Fictional infection. And I got to get off this line. I want it to be done at 9:55, but we'll go 5 minutes more. Fictional infection. Come on, you with me? What is that? Fictional infection. Thank you, Dawson. When your authentic self has been infected with a lot of non-genuine living, you've created a fictional self. Fictional self. When your authentic self has been infected with a lot of non-genuine living, you have a fictional self. Have you ever said to someone, wow, I never expect that from you. Wow, I didn't know you like things like that. Wow, wow. They're always wowing over you. You know why? Because you may have produced something to them that's really who you are, and they never got to know that side of you, so they never even believed you would like something like that. They wouldn't think that you liked nice things because you don't buy nice things for yourself. They wouldn't think that you could go to the movies by yourself because you always show them such a codependent side. That's the wow thing. When someone says wow, that factor will factor in that they're meeting a side of you that you've never let anyone know, that you caused them the wow. Isn't that amazing? Some deep stuff. The psyche. I'll be so glad when I can develop some of y'all to be coaches with me. Have your picture up here on my website. Calls coming into you because there are a lot of people that are waking up. The church is even waking up. That we've been so heaven bound, so Holy Spirit filled, that we've been no earth, no soul good. Speaking in tongues, lying, backstabbing, cheating, fornicating, can't keep a job, can't be on time, jacked up because of traumas, issues, and experiences in our soul, but speaking in tongues, leading ministries, writing psalms to the nations, singing in all different places, and somebody with eyes to see can see that your soul is jacked up. And God forbid if you should get promoted or get a contract with a soul like that, because you will not endure to the end. That's why we have one-hit wonders today, because their fame came before their development, and it caused them to be jacked up. And for some people, they only get one time at celebrityism, one time to be famous. And when you get out there and you start fighting with your team, and bad stuff come out about your character, you know, I don't want to take up the time to share this, but I just feel it overflowing from me. I had told the church that I pastored a while ago, I said, you know, I used to watch the Today Show with Matt Lawyer. And I watched him come on kind of corny, kind of nerdy, kind of, you know, very awkward with his profession. And then I seen this catapulted change about him. His hair was styled. His style of clothing was different. He lost weight and he trimmed down, and his speech and his grammar was different. There was such a boldness about him, such a power about him, that I read up and found out that he hired a coach. And that coach coached him to making from like $80,000 to I think $8 million a year. That's what a real coach can do for your life. Don't sleep on coaching. It's what they can do for your life. That his whole everything changed. But you see what just happened to him recently? If you know anything about him, they coached his mannerism. They coached his brand, but nobody went for his soul. So even though he's making $8 million a year, it only lasted for so long. He couldn't retire from it because he had a sick soul. And he's being accused of flirting and I think improper touching or somehow causing women to be sexually harassed by him. His cave, his throne came tumbling down. Why? Because somebody put into the outside man and it worked. But it won't work forever. You will not endure to the end if you don't get your soul right. It will always show up. It will come out of your mouth, your actions, your conversations, your secret sins. It will show up. A sick soul always shows up. And you want to know when that jive turkey will show up on you? You talk about self-betrayal. You know when it will show up? When you got a chance at promotion, when your name has finally hit the lights, when you're the Humpty Dumpty sitting on that wall. All of a sudden now it's going to show up. Oh, I want you to start going after women because you never got healed from that molestation. Oh, I want you to start trying to have aggressive flirting and sexual harassment in the workplace because you never got attention as a child. So I want you to get attention as a child. $8 million. Nobody plans to lose a career or a job like that. You know why it happens? Because our soul is sick. We got preachers like that. We got ministers like that. We got evangelisms like that. We got pastors and teachers. We've got Christians like that. People who proclaim the name of Jesus Christ and they're jacked up. But we think because we're anointed, we can't be jacked up because the anointing breaks the yoke, right? But it can't break what you won't confess. If you are ignoring who you really are, your entire system is so distressed that it will wear you out. And you will be old beyond your years. It will tax you so much that it will shorten your life by years and years. Let me read a soul's obituary to you. Let me read this to you. This is good. And this is probably where we can end because tonight I'll end with a lot of thinking for you. Let me get it. Here we go. Is that it? Okay, here we go. Let me read. You know how you have a regular obituary? I want to read the obituary to you of a soul. Not a human being, not someone with a name, a soul. Jackson Robert. Mr. Robert Jackson died yesterday of complications from doing a lifetime of crap that he didn't really want to do. His condition was further complicated because he also failed to do much, if any, of what he did want to do. Experts report that he died from cramming someone else's ideas of life into his body, his brain, and his life. Attempts by Mr. Jackson to fill the voids with work, cars, expensive eating, alcohol, 3 wives, 2,000 rounds of golf, and meeting everyone else's expectations but his own were dismally unsuccessful. Unfortunately, this all took so much out of Mr. Jackson that he was just so worn flat out and died about 20 years too soon. Miserable in his last years, he passed unpeacefully yesterday at his home. He was surrounded by colleagues from his job he hated and family members who were all just as miserable as he was. That's the obituary of a soul who is not authentic, who is not fixed, and who is not found on purpose. Remember our purpose statement? Where there is no purpose, where there is no passion, you will be tricked into doing anything. I think the Bible refers to it as someone who's being blown by every wind of doctrine. You stand for nothing, so you fall for everything. Life is supposed to get better because we are supposed to get better. We don't get older and be worse. So many grandchildren need grandparents, and they can't even be grandparents because they're so jacked up. They're trying to live their life all over again when they've missed that opportunity and should be embracing the season of being grandparents. Can't even enjoy the grandchildren. As we get older, we are supposed to be more competent, not less. That's the sign of a sad, sick soul. Medical experts tell us we can lose as many as 14 years, 5, 10, 14 years from our life expectancy by living the kind of prolonged stress that we just talked about this evening. Let me remind you, in case you are so overtaken right now by a fault called self-betrayal or self-abandonment or non-self-acceptance or non-authentic life, self-betrayal. Let me just remind you of some of the things tonight that we have described. Let me read that little short section again for you. Medical experts tell us we can lose as many as 14 years from our life expectancy by living the kind of prolonged stress that I have described in this teaching on tonight. So if I'm right, how did this all happen? Obviously, nobody slipped you a stupid pill, and you aren't some moron or some lunatic who should be in an institution. You just got caught up in this runaway train called life. You just got so used to not being excited. Across time, it got easier to tell yourself no than it was to tell someone else no. You very likely got some programming that taught you that it was selfish to focus on you. The programming, of course, came from a bunch of other people who would a whole lot rather you focus on them and what they want instead of you and what you want. Now, if on the other hand, you are excited about something in your life every day, feeling really good about who you are and what you are doing, you are likely living consistently with your authentic self. If you are often peaceful and fulfilled and feel like you are in touch with and focused on your mission and purpose for being in this world, then you are living in concert with who you really are. Let me tell you what I would wish for you to be thinking and saying now, during and after this lesson. I'm not going to talk the way he's talking in his text right here. So let's see where I want to go. We are going to get back to the authentic self tonight. Because ignoring who you truly, authentically are can literally be killing you up to 14 years earlier. Is that really the best that you can offer yourself? Come on, I want to see some words. I'm done. I'm going to hang up. I don't want to be on here an hour more than that every night. But come on, say something to me before we let go. Is that really what you want? Is that good enough for you? 14 years. You want to give up 14 years? Of the 14 years you're already giving up by not living your best life? I don't see that for you. Not at all. I want my 14 years. I like you. Somebody said, absolutely not, Apostle. So we're just going to draw up our covenant tonight. It's night 2. So this is what I need from all of our viewers on here tonight. Are you in? You came back on tonight. That spoke a lot. It said a lot. Are you in? If you are in, I want you to sign your contract tonight. And I want you to send me a thumbs up. If you don't know how to work your emojis, then I want you to type on your screen, I'm in. But I need to get a commitment out of you if I'm going to commit to you for another 28 days. Come on, I'm in. Thumbs up, I'm in. I don't have another 14 years. And I don't want to lose 14 years continually living the way I am. I wake up purposeless, compassionless. I don't want to continue this way. Come on, it's coming across the screen. I see you. Let's go. Come on. Good. I see it coming up. I'm excited for you. Very good. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Come on. That's being authentic to yourself. This is how I'll close with you tonight. This is what you are signing your contract, your covenant for on tonight. I want to make me happy by being true to myself, doing what I care about. If I love music, I want to have music in my life. If I want to have a career, then I want to find a way to have it. If I'm tired of being fat, I want to prioritize that change into my lifestyle. If I'm not being treated with dignity and respect, that's no longer okay. Not now and not ever. I would rather be alone than sick with someone else. If I miss God being in a life, if I miss God being in my life because my husband or my wife is not spiritual, then they will have to adjust, not me. I'm tired of being scared all the time, scared about my kids, scared about my money, scared about my job, scared about my boss, scared about my parents, scared of being accepted. I want some upside here. I want to feel alive. I want to feel valued by others and myself. I want to get up in the morning instead of dreading it. I want to have a tremendous clarity about why I am in this world and what I am supposed to do while I am here. I want to realize this is not a dress rehearsal. It is my life, my one shot. I want my kids to know and have all of me instead of some half behind counterfeit. I want them to really see all of the real me, my interests, my sense of humor, my values. I believe that children learn what they live, and I want to teach them by my example to be proud instead of showing them how to compromise. I want to live with peace, fulfillment, joy, and excitement. I want to be able to finish a day and say that that day felt really good. I want to be able to say that I am proud of me and proud of what I did today. I want to be able to say I like who I am and what I am all about. I want to feel calm and peaceful. I want to feel satisfied. I want to be able to say I feel good. I want to feel like I belong and I deserve what I want just because. Just because I want to like me for being there for me and putting what's important to me on my priority list. So you're in, and that's what you signed up for. You got your wake up call tonight, honey. So we are on this journey. I shake your hand. I thank you for being a part of night 2 of Soul Detox, where we're not just detoxing, I'm giving you the RX, the prescription for your soul, for better life, for better living. Boundaries, labels, self-betrayal, self-abandonment, authenticity. These are the words you're going to hear a lot over the next 28 days. They're going to be in your dreams. They're going to be your bed partners, your knife and your fork. They're going to be the steering wheel and the view outside your mirror when you get in that car. You're going to eat with them, sleep with them, live with them, cry with them. These will be the things that we will be going after in these few days. I love you all. I thank you for tuning in tonight. Forget the obituary. You signed the contract, and we are on our way. Thank you, Teal Wave. Thank you. We are on our way. Night 2, let's go. I'm in for me. Okay, doesn't look like anyone's asking any questions or making any statements. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Come on, if you would say our affirmation and declaration and our prophetic prayer over ourselves tonight. Let's go. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless you. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow about 9:00 p.m. Thank you for your time. I love you as well. I love y'all so much. Good night. Thank you. Thank you. Great teaching. Great teaching. Good night. Good night. Great teaching. We are on our way. I love you, Apostle. Thank you. I'm in a good contract signed. We are on our way. On our way. Thank you. Good night. Thank you, Davion. Thank you for being here with me. You encourage me, young man. Keep it up. Good night. And I love you too, daughters. I wish above all things. Speak that over yourself. Begin to speak that over yourself. You don't even have to be a believer. Speak it over yourself and get out of self-betrayal and self-abandonment. You gave us a bedtime snack. All right. I'll continue reading your comments. I love you all so much. God bless you and have a good night. Good night.